This episode's guest is near and dear to my heart. Ryan Kent is the president of Mizzen+Main and has done one heck of a job leading the company through some very tumultuous times over the last few years. Ryan was employee number 7 at Mizzen+Main, and today we're going to hear a little bit about how he balances life on and off the course and in and out of work. So I was thinking instead of a breakfast ball, we have like a buffet ball. Until one is in the middle of the fairway. Yeah. So Ryan, how much are you playing golf these days?
Try to play twice a month.
Do you play solo or?
A lot of times I just play solo.
It's great.
Just trying to find a single tee time out somewhere. If I'm playing, it's Sunday morning early, like sunbreak, sun up. So
0 dark 30.
0 dark 30. Yeah. Got to get home by noon so I don't get in trouble. And
unless that's water, we should find that. Well, we will not find that one. That one was right down the middle. All right, only one breakfast ball. That is a success. So as you were getting out of the military, what was the process like to decide what you wanted to do next?
Yeah, not really knowing what I wanted to do. So a lot of guys girls that come out of the military, they work with headhunters or people that just kind of help military officers, military people transition out. And so I worked with one, and they were great. They do all the interview prep and all that stuff, but they were really pushing medical sales, and I just knew I didn't want to do that. And one of my really good buddies who I went to West Point with and served with in 75th Regiment was at Ernst & Young doing management consulting. Oh, nice. And so he was like, hey, I don't really know what I want to do either, but you get a chance to work with a bunch of different companies, and the team is really good. So I kind of took a chance, moved over to EY.
That's a great shot. So, had you heard of Mizzen before we met at the gym?
Not before we met at the gym. I heard of Mizzen through you.
Yeah.
And then I think Kristen had reached out to you or did something, because management consulting, I was traveling every week. Yeah. So it was kind of like the best use case. It was like the ideal value proposition for me. Yeah. So she got me a couple of Mizzen shirts.
That's right.
For me to wear when I was traveling. Yep. And it was like, as soon as I wore my first one, it was like, hey, I'm wearing this every week, and how quickly can I get 4 of them to wear 4 days a week in the rotation?
What's the trick? Turn the shower on, close the bathroom door, let it steam out your shirts, because I'm not ironing on the road. Yeah. No, that's it. All right. So when you think back, because has it been 6 years?
6.5, yeah.
6.5 years. What's something that you know now that you wish you had known at the beginning?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I wish I would have known it was going to be as hard as it is, and thinking that there was going to be this one thing or this, this super aggressive growth curve, and we were going to have something that was going to completely accelerate the brand forward.
I think for me it was for the first few years, everyone who knew something about our industry told us that we'd have no chance and no one would ever wear what we created. And so I just eschewed all expertise from coming in and helping us. And I just think, man, I wish I had just found someone that somewhat believed in us to just help us grow up earlier on some of the vendor selection, the supply chain, certainly e-commerce.
I think the value of a good planner, the value of a good merchant, the value of a good marketer.
It was when we were interviewing one of our first prospective board members. She said, tell me about the planning function of the business. And I was like, could you help me understand what planning does in an apparel business? All right, so what's your best club and what's your worst club in the bag?
Best club in the bag right now is probably my 8-iron. Worst club is definitely my my wedges. So I don't take a full swing on any of my wedges anymore. So I'll just try to be the same 75%. And I'm good. 60 to 90 yards is like knee knocker. Like I have no confidence, just cannot do it. How about you?
Best and worst club is driver. My favorite club to hit is probably 7-iron. It's just pure, right? It's a nice long distance. That's gonna be in trouble. You should definitely go for it.
It's just a peninsula green.
It's 267 at the front.
What's up?
Did you go left?
Left, yeah.
I just blocked that. All right, I got a twofer. What does a typical Saturday look like? And part B is, what do you do every day that brings you joy?
Well, I can start with this second question. What brings me joy? That's pretty easy. It's just kissing my kids and giving them a hug and spending time with them. That's about the simplest definition of happiness for me. And then typical Saturday is usually some sporting events for the kids, hopefully a workout, kind of light evening, maybe have some people in the neighborhood over or go over to somebody in the neighborhood. Yeah, usually try to keep it as low key as possible. Usually by Friday night, I'm ready to do absolutely nothing. Hopefully get a good night's sleep. Saturday I can have a full day. Wake up Sunday morning, play golf if I'm lucky.
Saturday with the kids is an amazing experience, but also an exhausting one.
Yes.
Right? Weekends aren't really a total reset, recharge time. Chunked it. For how long I've been playing golf, my propensity to still have shots like that is pretty wild. I don't know when you stop having shots like that.
I think when you're like, if you can get under like a 6.
Yeah, probably. Probably. Close enough. With determination. So I need some context for the viewers at home here. We've got probably 20-mile-an-hour winds with 25, 30-mile-an-hour gusts and white caps on the lake. So, none of that is the reason that I'm playing terribly. So it's been a few years since I left the day-to-day. What's the culture like at Mizzen now?
I think it's strong. I think from what we hear from the employees when we survey them is that the number one thing that they hear or say about the benefit of the company is the culture and the people that they work with. So I think it's strong. I mean, it's, we're a small, fast-growing company that doesn't have all the resources in the world, which is stressful. And so it's definitely strained, but it's, we've talked when we've defined our values and what we thought we wanted the company to kind of form and shape like, and one of them is the two that they're all important. I think two that stand out over the last year is we never settle and we act as owners. And I think there's really good examples kind of across the board where people have really taken ownership of what they're responsible for, driven their area of the business forward, and seen, a level of professional satisfaction in that. And then just this never settle attitude and I think, you and I talk about it a lot and even have to reinforce with the team a lot. Never settling doesn't mean work 16 hours a day. It just means finding ways to do what you're doing better and more efficient and better than what you did last time. And again, I think, as people are trying to, now we're kind of out of COVID from a economic standpoint, or at least in our industry, there's a lot of companies that are seeing upside right now. And so you've adjusted process to navigate through COVID, and now as we're seeing really strong tailwinds in the business. Okay, now we got to readjust, and so it's this constant, never settling. I think there's people that like that, that are getting really excited, and I think it's coming through in the culture that there's, just a good. We're still working through what the office, non-office looks like. For the people that are in Dallas, we want the majority of our employees every day to be in the office. And I think when those days that people are there, there's a good energy, and it's like you can feel it, and it's beneficial for everybody.
Good. Yeah. All right. I got a bogey that hole. No more doubles or triples. You got a double? You got a double and hammered that putt in. Oh, but you had 2 chips. That was...
Yes. Technically a 1 putt. Mark it down.
Mark it down. Show us the way. Beautiful. Man, that is like 1 yard back would have been perfect. Such is golf. Looking forward, what are you most excited about for the next decade of Mizzen?
There's so much opportunity for this brand right now, and even for the next decade. And I think we talk a lot internally about being every guy's favorite thing to wear every day.
Yep.
And just being that, just executing against that. And there's so many people, even here in Dallas, that still don't even know about the brand. And it's so gratifying, probably, when you hear customers that have tried on the brand for the first time and they're like, oh my gosh, this is so comfortable, or whatever problem it's solving for them, whether that's the ease of care or there's wrinkle resistance, or it's just a really comfortable shirt or pant that they're wearing. And you're just like, you just feel that you know that you're doing it right. And so just really excited to just keep making great product. We have such a really strong team in place now. We still have some more people to bring on board, but just knowing that there's so much opportunity and so much value to add to customers out there is just, there's not like the one video that I would say is the most exciting, or the one thing we're gonna do in 3 years from now. It's just doing continual good work and being around continual good people.
Yeah. I mean, I think in the first few years, we didn't have a team, right? And then the acceleration over the last 5 years with the hiccup of the COVID time period, what we can now do, given everything we've experienced and learned, with the investors we have behind us, with the board, the stores that we have, how many different stores carry Mizzen+Main, the ability to build on our first decade. I'm more excited about the brand than I ever have been, even in some of those like crazy high moments. And the best part of that, and I think why I'm so optimistic, is because it's not because of one thing. It's because of everything that we have, the team that we built. Years 1 through 10, some slow years, but then look at the people we've gotten to work with. JJ Watt, Tim Tebow, Phil Mickelson, so many other great athletes, Sean Isner. And I can't even imagine what the next decade is going to hold. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be really fun.
Nice. Oh!
There it is.
All right, man. Good playing today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me out.
I don't know if it was good playing by me, but it was fun.
Yeah, always fun.
I cannot believe the wind out here. What do you usually blame your bad play on?
My swing.